Hello world! Welcome back to another episode of Shanay Meets World, the global community that wants to live a location-independent lifestyle. In today's video, we are going to talk all about how to find your voice. And maybe you're wondering, what does finding your voice have to do with travel? For me, everything. Travel is what helped me find my voice. Travel helped me find myself. It helped me discover all of the unique powers that I have. Now I have this level of comfortability within myself that I'm able to share my voice with the world, with you all, my beautiful, beautiful YouTube family. What does it mean to find your voice? I'll give you what I think finding your voice means. Finding your voice means strength. It's empowering. Finding your voice means that you have captured the essence of yourself and you're communicating the essence of you to the rest of the world. Travel may be the way that you find your voice. It may be a different way, but I'm going to give you 6 techniques on how you can pull your voice out of you and how you can really take advantage of your own unique powers by using your voice. When we think about voice, there are many different types of voices. We have the voice in our head, and then we also have the voice that comes out of our mouths. And for me, I spend so much time with the voice in my head. This past year, I've really evolved, and I decided that it was time for me to now use the voice from my mouth. And I'm not saying that I was quiet or that I didn't speak my mind. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm now comfortable enough to take what I've always thought and now share that via my YouTube channel. So utilizing the skills and techniques and learnings that I've picked up all along these past years, from school, from travel, from working abroad, from living abroad, I've taken all of those experiences now, and I am now able to verbally communicate those experiences and also share knowledge and advise people on how I think that they can also improve and advance themselves, as I also show and demonstrate how I work to prove and advance myself. Finding your voice is all about taking what is inside of you and showing it off. And there's nothing wrong with showing off who you are, which is why it's so important that we all find our voice. The reason why I decided to talk about finding your voice is because yesterday was my birthday. Last year for my birthday, I was traveling across Europe. I went from Switzerland to France, Spain, and then back to Morocco on a solo road trip. That really showed me my capacity. That showed me that I can challenge myself and I can overcome any obstacle that's put my way. I just have to have the fortitude and the willpower to keep going. That really ignited something in me. And from that point, I realized that I'm sitting on a lot of my own talents that I'm not sharing with you all. And that experience within itself kind of snapped me into realizing that I have to share my voice. I have to not be afraid anymore. Now that it's been a full year and I've been able to demonstrate through my YouTube channel that I can communicate my thoughts effectively, and I can share my opinions, I can share my point of views, and I can provide insight into my own experience, that I want everyone to feel the same way about themselves and be able to empower themselves to also use their voice in whichever lane that is and help shape the world. In today's video, I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can tap into your voice and use it. At the end of the video, I'm gonna show you all how I spent my birthday this year. Let's get into it. The first technique to finding your voice is to experiment. You are not an expert. Keep that in the back of your mind. It is okay to experiment. I just saw something on social media that says it's okay to show people that you're trying. And honestly, that's what I did when I decided to start this YouTube channel, because I had a YouTube channel before about my Peace Corps experience. Now I have this channel where I'm talking about travel, international life, and location independence. So this is something a lot different. This is something that I'm working towards. I'm experimenting. I'm taking you all along this journey with me as I pave through the landscape of being a businesswoman, of finding out how to live a location independent lifestyle. So I'm experimenting with my channel and I'm sharing the experiment with you. So that's one of the things that I would definitely recommend that you use as a technique to find your voice. Whatever it is that you decide to do, experiment and tell people that you're experimenting. Not for them, it will help you to verbally express that you're not an expert and that you're new at this and you want to perfect yourself. But in order to perfect, you have to make progress. Experimenting is the #1 technique to finding your voice. The second technique, which I mentioned previously, is get out of your head. I cannot say this enough because I say this so much to myself that I have to say, okay, stop. Even my husband, he'll tell me, stop thinking so much, because I will. I'll get into this rabbit hole of thoughts and I'll make all of these projections, predictions, assumptions, and I'll just be caught and I'll be in it. I'll be in this hole. It's not healthy for us to just constantly be stuck in our heads. We have to be able to communicate that. And a lot of people use video to communicate what's in their head. They use writing to communicate what's in their head. They use art. So whatever it is that you can use to communicate what's in your head, to get it out of your head and into the physical world, do it. The third technique is to speak. This goes hand in hand with getting out of your head, because as I mentioned, I can be caught in, oh, I want to do things this way, I want to do it like this, and just having all of these thoughts. And you have to start somewhere. So when you can break down what you want to say into digestible pieces, start to communicate those bit by bit. Don't overwhelm yourself so much where you want to communicate a whole dissertation. No, don't do that. Don't overwhelm yourself. People will understand that, and people themselves will be able to digest what you're sharing if you're not overloading. When it comes to speaking, start by communicating slowly what your thoughts are. This helps with articulation, quite frankly, because a lot of times we get nervous about how we speak in public or how we sound or how we formulate sentences and use words. And in order for you to make progress, you have to actually speak. So that will be my third technique, is to speak. One of the perfect examples, which I love, I just got hip to this show, is Insecure. I love watching Issa Rae talk to herself in the mirror. She's rapping to herself. That's her art. That's her technique. That's how she empowers herself. And that's how she communicates her thoughts. So if that's something that floats your boat, you rap, you write poems, and you don't want to necessarily say it in front of a camera, speak it in front of the mirror. Talk to yourself in the mirror. I just loved it because it gave me excitement. It reminds me of myself and how I write and how I communicate just verbally to myself. That's one way that you can speak and practice until you gain this level of comfort where you can speak in front of the camera, where you can speak in front of an audience of however many people. Remember, you have an impact on the world, and in order for that impact to resonate with other people, you have to share it. Technique number 4 is to take your time. All of these go hand in hand with one another. So as I mentioned, when it comes to speaking, do it bit by bit. Don't feel like you have to be an expert right away. Take your time, breathe, flow with your thought process. When you're coming to a gap in your thoughts, just take a pause, regain your thought process, and continue on. When you take your time, it takes less pressure and anxiety off of your physical body. When we are stressed, when we're anxious, when we're nervous, all of that pressure and tension is held in our body. If I'm rushing, for example, my breathing is off, which means that I can't really talk because I'm trying to keep up with my own breath. Also, when it comes to taking your time, you are not in a race with anyone except yourself. I know we get bombarded every single day with social media, with the internet in general, with people around us, our family, friends, people we went to university with, and we are, as they would call it, keeping up with the Joneses. That's not the case. You have to first pause and reflect and be within yourself. Take your time with that so that when you find your voice, you have your pace and you can go. Until you do that, you have to stop and take your time. You cannot be in this space where you're trying to keep up with somebody else and trying to keep up with the world, because you won't find yourself doing that. You'll find someone else. Keep up with yourself and run your own race. This next one, all of these honestly are me talking to myself, and I'm just sharing with you how I've been able to overcome. Technique number 5, that is to remove self-judgment. We already have the rest of the world judging us, which is okay, because as long as it doesn't cause us any harm, people can judge whomever they like. But we have to stop judging ourselves. I know that we have a standard that we like to uphold ourselves to, which you should keep. Keep the standard that you want to hold yourself to. If you're feeling like I'm not at this standard, I'm not at this level, then don't judge yourself for being there, but figure out how you can get there. Figure out what you're doing at the moment prohibiting you from getting to this level that you want to get. That's what you have to do. You can't judge so much, but you have to be more of a critical thinker. Oftentimes, judgment is what stops us, because you're thinking, oh, I sound terrible, or I don't talk good in front of the camera. It doesn't matter, because you could be feeling that, but someone on the other end receiving the information or receiving the gift that you decided to share by using your voice, they don't even realize half of the things that you're thinking about in your head when it comes to self-judgment. Don't be so judgmental on yourself. Have a standard, work towards meeting that standard. Experiment. If you test something out and it doesn't work, don't beat yourself up. Test something else, or test it again, because maybe the first time around it didn't go as planned, and that's normal, that's life. Have your standard and work towards meeting that standard. Technique number 6 is do not expect validation from others. The reason why I say this is not because people won't congratulate you and people won't support you and people won't be happy for you, because they will. There will be so many people that are in your corner supporting you and validating what it is that you're doing. But don't expect that, because the second you rely on validation from other people is when you stop counting on yourself. That's when the balance of finding yourself and other people's opinion of you start to weigh heavy on the other side. It's nice to be supported and cheerleaded as you're experimenting finding your voice, but remember that you're finding your voice for you. So validation is just a bonus. It's not something that should keep you going, because there will be people that disagree with you, and that is okay. Don't expect validation. If it comes, it's a perk. If it doesn't, keep going. You got this. Those are my 6 techniques on how to find your voice. Let me know in the comments below which technique you plan to experiment with. I've used all 6 of these techniques, which is how I'm able to share them with you today. And I'm still practicing, still learning, still evolving. I hope that you all are able to use these techniques and make progress and grow yourselves as you want to. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe if you haven't already. I publish videos every Sunday about travel, location independence, and international life. Now check out what I did for my birthday. This is a great gift. Thank you.
A river to a valley, an ocean to a stone. The time it takes the edges to become well worn. But with your arms around me, I've never been more sure that all this time and softened lines are better than before. We're better than before. My love will not change. My love will not change. Through the years it grows, but time will hold the weight. My love will not change.